Hello and welcome to the God is a Geek podcast. My name's Adam Cook, I'm your host, and I was looking at that intro just like you were and thinking, I should probably redo that because some of them games are a bit older, some are classics and they stand the test of time, but also my office doesn't look anything like it does in that, and I look a lot thinner in the face. Wouldn't you agree, Christopher Hyde?
No comment on what you look like, but my hair in that one, I mean, my hair looks crap today, but my hair in that one is proper lockdown buzz cut, like dramatic shaven off thing. So, yeah, which is very much different to what it normally is. So, yeah, every time I see that, I'm like, oh, that was desperate times. But, yeah.
I mean, every time I see that, I just think, God, you got so fat, you fat bastard. That's
me?
What I think. No, me.
Oh, right.
Oh, I can't.
Cheers, mate.
Adam
Every
Carroll's,
time I see
Adam
your
Carroll
face, I think, what a fat.
imagine if that was what I was saying. Like, you just, and you would like, and then you dead air, and you're like, oh Christ, no, seriously, you need to do something.
Seriously, you are massive.
Yep. Adam Carroll, how are you, mate? You all right?
I am very good. I look at that video. It's actually, do you know what happens? Because I'm double screening the thing here.
Yeah, same.
And every time that the pod starts, I just scroll right down.
Yeah,
like I just go. It's just so funny to look at it. Look at the whole thing. Long hair, all that jazz.
The irony being as well, like I think the bit I use a footage of you for the intro is I think it's from one of your music videos, isn't it?
It's got to be band material, that stuff. Surely.
The white shirt. I want to say that's
with your
Zook's video.
Little jaunty head thing.
Yeah.
And I always, because I remember using that originally because I put some like birds behind it chirping for the trailer, because you sort of look like you're just waiting around. Yeah.
Speaking of shirts, though, Adam Cook.
Yeah.
It's already taking off in the comments.
Oh, is it?
Deadbeat Punk. One of us have to change the shirt.
Well,
me.
I don't see that.
'Cause I'm wearing 3 fucking layers.
We've become like we've gone to video. We've become a very physical podcast now. Like, is a visual. If you're just listening, you're missing out on a very, very good visual gag. That Adam's suffering for his art. Do you buy into that thing though? By the way, like that. I mean, it's a very old-fashioned thing.
Oh, you're because very deep here, yeah.
Well, no, I mean, the joke. Well, it's not a joke. It's not. It has to be funny to be a joke. But the thing is, it's always like about two women, isn't it, who've come to the party and they're dressed in the same clothing. It could be 2 men as well. But the joke being that the 2 men would be like, Like, would it bother you? Like, if we genuinely had just turned up somewhere, say we were having a big old God is a Geek meet-up and we both turned up and we were both wearing this shirt, would you be like...
Well, that would be a bit of a like... I think I'd look at you and I'd go...
Well, no, my instant reaction was, I haven't got one of those shirts. I feel like I'm the odd one out. So
yeah, but the thing is, if anyone's going to take their shirt off, it's got to be you, mate. Like, you're bound to have the body that people would want to see shirtless. I mean, no one wants to see what's hiding underneath here, man.
Yeah, but I just feel like I have a Guinness gut. That's what I like.
That would look cool. That would look almost weird.
Are you trying to make out that like you're like fine from here, but then like it just literally goes like that up below camera?
Absolutely, like massive from below that. Like, it's just
I would love
ridiculous.
that so much.
That'd be great.
Well, look, we've had a laugh. We've had a laugh. That's what
Let's
we're here
stop
to
that
do.
now.
But we've got to stop that because this is a very serious thing. I don't know if any people watching this now, live or in the future, have heard of a thing called an intervention. I don't know why you're laughing, Christopher Hyde. Adam Carroll, this is an intervention for Christopher Hyde. The man is, I think, about maybe 5 or 6 hours away from poop socking it when it comes to this New World game. Like, I'm pretty sure that's why that bed's in the video behind him now, because he's just because he's not leaving that room because of New World.
So I had to Google what like poop sucking was because I'm not down with the kids.
So before you say what it is, Adam, do you know what it is?
Poop sucking.
Oh, you don't.
No.
I mean, surely it is a thing, right? Like... It's a South Park thing. I remember seeing. I've never known anyone do it, but
is it just? Is it doing exactly what it says in the tin?
It's exactly what it's
exactly that. So you don't have to get up, so you can just keep going at your MMO. Just go.
I'd argue that maybe it's my advanced years, but I'd argue doing that is more effort, more work, and more difficult than just going to the toilet.
Well, yeah, especially for someone like me who is obviously loaded and has a downstairs toilet. So I haven't got to go up the stairs. I have to go upstairs to get a sock. Unless we're talking take a sock off.
I think you're prepared.
Yeah, okay.
I just feel like that's just... It's insanely awkward, no? It just feels like it's just going to be the hassle of it just seems ridiculous. I'm like, fuck this, just go to the Jacks.
Well, Deadbeat Punk says, well, I'm assuming once you've done it, just throw the soccer shite out the window.
Yeah.
Imagine.
I mean, the sock surely beyond saving
along with
at
their
that
baby, walking along with their baby, just out for a nice walk, perhaps a Labrador on the, walking along, and this sock just slow motion wallop. Oh.
There's actually I don't know if you watch it, but that show on Netflix called Sex Education has.
I've never seen
exactly that.
Oh, really? Okay.
It does exactly a moment of a shit in a sock thrown out a window.
That's a very specific scene.
Yeah,
South Park,
it's
obviously
hilarious.
But this is an intervention because Christopher Hyde, he has a problem, doesn't he? Don't you, Chris?
Well, I do, and we touched on it last week, and I'd love to say it, and I haven't played it since. But it's just we said about it last week, right? I just find it's one of those games that you end up. It's almost like the go-to relaxation game. It's the game I go to sort of switch off at the moment, when everything else is crazy around me at work or whatever. It's like, right, I've got an hour now, or whatever. Got back to stop crying or whatever, and I'm like, right. Let's just blitz out some New World. I will say, I
would have always thought FIFA was your answer to that.
The thing is, right?
FIFA's not quick though.
FIFA's not quick, and I prefer playing FIFA, like with my friends, and so that's like everyone has to be available at the same sort of time, and normally that with my mates, because they've all got kids, it's like late evening. So if it's like early evening, I'm like, right, I've got an hour, right. I'll play New World. Now, I actually like playing New World with Adam, but he has responsibility, and I clearly just shirk all of that. And so I spend all my time playing New World, and he spends all his time playing other things, which we'll talk about later on. But I will say, I have missed playing with you. As much as you hate me for going off on my own.
It doesn't seem like you have, because when I logged in at my level 22 character, when I'd left you, I think a day or two prior at level 21, which was, you were catching up, bearing in mind I started this game way before you, and then I noticed you were level 27, and I'm aware of how much, the game, this is a video game about grinding, like it is, it's an MMO, there's no way around it, there's no way to pretend it's not. This game is literally everything you can imagine in a role-playing game has a meter, and you level it up, and that's, I guess, kind of the appeal. But
it's
you have suddenly
like the Skyrim thing
by 5 levels, and that was days ago. I'm slightly worried about what level you are now. Will you reveal right now what level you are? That's how worried we go on. Let's know how bad you've got.
No, it's not too bad. It's because I've been doing other things with you, which I'll come on to in a minute. But it's only 28, but it is probably about 28 and a half. So it's still jumped up from when you last saw me. But
what's the level cap?
Oh, it's 60. It's 60, I think so. But the fact you even knew that worries me.
You know it was 60. Shut up.
Yeah, I did, but I introduced you to the game.
Yeah. The thing is now, so I will say, like,
it's my job to know this sort of thing, I think, isn't it? I don't know anymore. Well,
I just like to think, therefore, it's also mine, but I tend to have quite a lot of gaps in gaming knowledge. So, let's move past that one. But I've kind of got to a point now, because I'm like over level 25. Like the way the game works, probably quite. I don't know other MMOs to reference, but I'm sure it's the same in others. You have different areas that are kind of leveled higher. Yes. So there's like the starting areas that are like 1 to 25 essentially, and then there's now other levels which are like 25 to 40 or something. So I can now go in theirs and I'm not getting my ass handed to me.
Yeah.
So it almost feels like starting again with like other areas, which is quite cool. But I want to play with you, man. I want to do some stuff together.
Please don't say it like that.
Well, I've done it. It's out there now. Yeah. Everyone can hear it. But yeah, I know I've got a problem. It's scary as well, because it got to the point where I got angry at the Steam hour counter, because I was like, it's clearly lying, because I haven't spent that long on the game.
Go on.
And I feel like I still think it's wrong.
Well, go on, because we can work this out, because I know what mine is. Go on. You actually
saying I've played it for 40 hours? And it can't be right, because I don't think I have, even though I've been playing it more than you. But I don't know if I left
games do, though.
I know, because I feel like I played it for a bit. And I'm like, actually, that was 2 hours. So maybe it does add up.
I mean, I'm at 19. I'm at 19 hours.
Yeah, I know, because that one makes me sad, because I see that, because you're my friend on Steam.
You're like,
and I'm like,
you're only 5-6 levels.
I go on there every day and thinking, I really hope Adam's had an 8-hour session on New World to catch me up.
I've never had an 8-hour session on New World.
No, but do you know what I mean? To like close the gap, and it never happens.
I tell you what it is. I might have said this last week, but it's genuinely become, since I'm at home more often these days and I don't listen to as many podcasts, it's become, I truly, if this may mean nothing to anyone listening to this podcast now, but a friend who used to work for God is a Geek called Martin Baker always used to listen to podcasts while he was playing World of Warcraft. And I sort of never got it, because it was like, how can you like listen to music or a podcast when you're playing a video game? Because like if you were playing like any of the other games on this, it may be Deep Rock, but probably not because of communication. But I found this game is perfect for that. Like I genuinely have been listening to podcasts, catching up on albums. Like my first listen to the new Biffy Clyro album was while playing New World, and it was like, well, and that's also the other thing that gave me is a rough idea of how long I'd been playing. Because if you take that away, I do just sit here, and until work comes up, like I can ignore work for so long, but then something could crop up, and it's like, I really have to shut this down and move to this. You know what I mean? But whereas, roughly most albums aren't going to be longer than an hour, give or take. Even if they are, it's like an hour 20. So when the album finishes, you're like, okay. And most podcasts are an hour to 2 hours. So again, roughly, for me, it's almost like, well, I'm going to play till I get halfway through this podcast, and then I'm going to play a bit more another day, and I do, because I do get it. I genuinely do get it, and I know this game's got its problems, and I know people are fuming with Amazon at a lot of stuff. But I can't add anything more, because I'm still in the same situation in that I just enjoy spending some time. The same way Chris and I played Satisfactory a lot. It's the same thing, a different thing. Different game. Astroneer is another one. Like, these are games where there might be combat, but it's not. I don't know. It's not. I don't know. The combat. I like the combat, so I don't know why I said that. Actually, I don't know why I started down that route. But like, I just, I'm with you. I really like this game. Like, it's one of those where I sort of do regret introducing you to it, because I genuinely feel a little bit responsible, because when when you can't tell if it's a joke or not anymore. I feel like we're at that stage now where I'm not sure I really actually need to stop.
I think I probably do, or have a break, because I feel like I there's other games I need to play.
Will you? Like, can you? Is what I'm saying.
I think I have to, because there's other games I need to play for Game of the Year conversations and things. Like, I started like Psychonauts 2 the other day.
I started the Artful Escape the other day.
Yeah, and I was playing that thinking, and it's bad, because I'm sitting that thinking, would I rather play this than New World? And it's like, that's not fair, and I feel like I need to just stop New World, give it a break, and then
I think
play
it has
some other
become
things
my FIFA,
back.
if that makes sense. Like, when I would not be working on a game or playing a game to have an opinion for a podcast or doing that, my game of choice would often be FIFA. It would be, get like, if I get an hour or two, I'm going to get an hour or two into my career mode, and I knock through it slowly through the year. And I think that is what this is.
It's definitely that for me at the moment. Definitely,
I think that's fine. What else have you been up to, though? That's not New World. There must be something.
There is. Because I haven't spent all my waking time on New World. So I've been playing a preview build of Grow Song of the Evertree.
Right.
Which I know is out of order of the script, but you asked me what I was playing.
No,
so
that's fine.
This is.
Don't make out that there's an actual script. Don't say the word script.
Script is massively overplaying it.
Imagine scripting a podcast. Good Lord, that would be horrific. I mean,
could you imagine if all of this banter was scripted? That would be terrible.
Yes, I can, because I'm a terrific writer and would easily be able to write comedy. But it's not.
I don't think you'd be able to. No, these are all my jokes are mine.
Yeah, that bit's true.
That bit's true. Yeah. Don't let Clay for my dad jokes. They're all mine. Anyway, right.
Grow,
Song of the Evertree. Right. Yes. So, this interesting. Actually, I haven't just talked about New World and relaxing games and things. This is very much again all in a preview sense. So we'll just say that. So it's only sort of like the start of the game. But this is very much a kind of relaxing, almost kind of cathartic world builder type game. and it very much reminded me as I was playing of games like
underrepresented genre.
Yeah, it's very much like the Stardew Valley type.
Oh, I was being sarcastic. Sorry.
Oh, well, no, I know what you mean. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Not come
ever since, I feel like ever since Stardew and other games like that, this has just gone. Like everything is that now. But like, I felt so. It's like Stardew Valley, but also like Animal Crossing as well. And I'll come on to why. So basically, what's that? Sorry,
Adam says he's out.
I'm out.
yeah.
Let's not do it. Let's not.
Yeah, let's not start on Animal Crossing again. So you are the last alchemist. This is the story, and you live in under the shadow of the Evertree, which is the source of all life, and it is succumbing to this, I guess, disease or equivalent of called the withering, and your task is to make the withering go away. And the way in which you do that is by planting world seeds on the Evertree. And what that does is it actually grows in entirely new worlds. And when these worlds grow, it's then your responsibility to nurture them and upkeep them. So you've got your usual toolkit that you would have in like a Stardew Valley or an Animal Crossing. So you've got a watering can, a load of seeds, a sickle, a mallet, an axe, that kind of stuff. You get a fishing rod and a bug net as well, not too far in.
So it's a video game. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm with you now. Okay.
And you go around the world tidying up all the bits and bobs. You get various currencies and stuff as you do that, and various like items and things. And it's on a day and night cycle. So the first few days you're just kind of learning how to do that sort of stuff, and then you go back to your house, and then you go again. But then you realize that the game sort of opens up to not just that, but also, as well as trying to improve these worlds that are in the tree, you're also trying to build a community on the ground. So you start kind of using all the currency that you're building to kind of build houses and recruit people to your town, and build like pubs and shops and stuff, and assign them to various places, and they've all got preferred jobs and they've all got different personalities and stuff. So it's almost a little bit of a town, but that's where I guess where the Animal Crossing stuff comes in, because you've got residents and stuff, and you can do little jobs for them and things like that. And so then you find time spending like half the day kind of looking after the town, and the other half looking after your worlds. Now, obviously, I've only played the preview build in the first few hours of the preview build, but there's other stuff that's kind of hinted at around sort of like expanding the kind of the stuff on the ground to kind of different areas. There's loads of the withering sort of vines that are covering a lot of the area, and you can unlock it as you go. So that looks quite clearly going to open up various areas as you go, probably build multiple communities. And there's also, obviously, you're an alchemist. At the start, there's an alchemy side to all of this. So as you're going, you're collecting loads of these collectibles, and you use these collectibles to actually create new world seeds. So you can create your own worlds.
To create what? Sorry?
Your own worlds.
Oh, I thought you said create new worlds. Sorry.
Create new worlds. I should have. That would have been amazing.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Create new worlds. There you go.
Pretty sure that's what you said.
So yeah, you create you acquire different, what they called like essences. So there's different types of essences, like you can have like fire essences or like bright essences and things like that. And basically you pot them all, you collect them all, and then you can say, I want this much essence of this and this and this to create like a type of world. You create a seed, plant it, and then you can kind of create your own world. And it's a bit like, you can kind of do different combinations, see what types of worlds you get and stuff. So it's very much, certainly in the preview I played, I'm not sure what I'm sure there will be an end game of completely clearing the withering, but the journey along the way is clearly around sort of like, trying your hand at the alchemy, creating worlds, seeing what happens, and doing the whole daily routine of like speaking to people in town and kind of fixing up the world. So, I mean, it looks lovely. The art style is very sort of like, it's not sort of cartoony, but it's like that kind of bright, vibrant colors, almost like a Pixar-y type kind of color palette, and a kind of soothing sort of sound you'd expect from that type of game. it is just very, you know what I'm like. I'm the kind of person that will pick up, like in New World, pick up everything, clean, do everything. It's very much that kind of thing for me is like, yes, everything is neat and tidy, which, is very much my sort of thing. So having to do that in terms of a daily cycle is good. So the preview, the first few hours I played seemed very good. Be interesting to see how it adds to what it's doing so it doesn't get too repetitive in the full game. But I mean, the full game's out soon. I think it's mid-November. The full game's out, so it's not long to wait. So coming to PS4, PC, Switch, and Xbox One, I think. So all the main consoles. So that's what I've been playing. Yes,
I suppose. We could transition to Deep Rock, but before we get to that, Adam, Carroll, is there anything I know you're not current as it was. There was not much current you can speak about, but is there anything you've been up to? You want to?
No,
like any food you've been,
No, not right. We won't get into food stuff.
Well, sure, why not? We can.
I will say. No, but hang on a second, Rob. As it stands,
you've not been eating Pringles again, have you?
Small few. With finishing Dread, and doing the 100% in that, I kind of was like, all right, that's great, and I'm in that limbo now where I'm kind of like same as Chris, looking at the end of year list. And
what's on that list of like what's urgent? I know Psychonauts 2's on yours as well.
Psychonauts 2 has to be done. Death's Door is a big one.
Yeah, well, I mean, now it's coming to Switch, and like that was funny because we were literally talking about that game, and then
we were literally talking about the day before. I was telling you what I need to play and get through, and then it just gets announced the next day. So I got that, and then there's like 2 others, I think. Anyway, main ones for myself. So as it stands, I'm just kind of waiting for just at the moment getting those games together and whatever. But I've been all over the place in house at the moment, so I kind of had, believe it or not, my Vita.
Wow, the really weird thing is mine's behind me on a shelf, and I was looking at it the other day going, I should charge that. Genuinely was thinking about it, and then I thought, oh, come on now. You haven't got time, but... It's
that thing, right? So I obviously, I was kind of I'm going over and over what handheld, like, obviously my Switch was there, but I was like, no, at the moment I want to play on the Switch, and then I was looking at my 3DS stuff, and I was like, do I want to play that for a bit, whatever, just something to tie me over. I said, fuck it, the Vita. And then I boot up the Vita, and I was like, do I start Persona 4 Golden again? No, don't do that,
not
because
that.
that's a bad idea for me. There'll be nothing played if I do that again. But I decided to start, I wanted to for a while again, the Metal Gear franchise. All right, so I wanted to go through Metal Gear again. So I went through Metal Gear 1, and that was all enjoyable again. I've played that game so many times, brilliant, amazing, one of the best ever. And then I realized that I had a good while back, bought the physical of the HD collection on Vita. Okay. So I said, I'll with finishing 1, I'll get into 2 there now, and off we go again. And I was starting, and I don't know if you guys have played the HD collection on Vita. It is so bad in the controls.
I can't remember.
I
don't think I have.
It is absolutely like, it is not the one. I couldn't believe the problem I was having with it. So like obviously playing the Vita, and I kind of forgot the whole like touchpad thing and the touch screen in general.
Oh yeah.
It just didn't read on at me, right? Like scaling the walls in Metal Gear 2 on the Vita. Scaling the wall, you go against the wall with the analog stick, you kind of move along, and when you get to the corner to look around, you have to swipe the screen.
Wow, I didn't know that.
For Snake to do this kind of thing to trigger, because if you use the analog, he just jumps out, right? So that's immediately bad. To pick your items, like your weapons and your items, like they're down on the left and the right screen, you have to use the touch screen. And like when you press it, the items come up, and then you have to kind of like keep your thumb on the screen and kind of scroll up with it and let go. And it's all just like, it's all really, really fucking bad. And I was just kind of going, I was in my head kind of wondering, is this just me just not really getting the flow of this down and stuff? Because the first boss encounter was terrible. Like I died like 4 or 5 times, and I was like, what's this? What's happening? So I checked online, and it is a known thing within like a lot of like forums and stuff that the control scheme in the HD collection on Vita is terrible. Which is a real shame, because I was...
And you can't change it?
No, I can't.
Oh.
But the Vita had all the buttons, didn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, surely you can map them.
Oh no, it didn't. It didn't have.
No, it
didn't
didn't.
have. They only have
R2 and L2.
Yeah, and they mapped it originally to most games. So if you were holding it, it would be like there was a touchscreen on the back, wasn't there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, let's just be honest. Like I really do enjoy like some things on the Vita, but that touchpad on the back is a terrible design.
Yeah, it never really worked. It felt like it worked properly.
It never worked, and like I always remember. I know this is kind of a random conversation to go to, but this is just what's been going on. But I always remember Colin Mahern, who used to write for God's Geek, we went to some like Vita kind of thing, like a launch thing in like our local town, whatever. And I remember being up there and holding the Vita and kind of going, this touchpad is bad. Like it's as bad, and it never clicked. And I like there's a couple of games they released for that console that was like solely going for that focus on that thing, you know. But I don't know. Like I'm just gonna wait now to take out the PS3 or something and just play the HD collection there, because it's a real disappointment, which makes me wonder then how did Metal Gear 3 do on the DS? Because remember that came out and they released the Circle Pad Pro.
Yeah, Circle Pad Pro. Yeah.
And I'm always curious to know how did that work out, because if I remember correctly, it did all right reviews.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. But that's kind of all I was doing really. I'm going to start Guardians of the Galaxy soon.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to giving that a shot. I don't know where I'm kind of like what I'm expecting.
I think you'll really enjoy it.
I don't know if I'm supposed to expect something like Marvel Avengers or Spider-Man, or is it in between?
It's in between. Yeah,
that's
kind
what
of
I'm wondering.
Nearer Spider-Man than. Well, just play it. I would say. I don't know.
I'm looking forward to giving it a shot.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm really excited to play Death's Door. I really am.
Yeah,
like,
that's going to be good for people to get a chance. Speaking of Game of the Year stuff, like I started playing the Artful Escape. I don't know if you've tried that. I don't think it would resonate hugely with you, Chris. I think, Adam, you might have some of this. This is the biggest, most wankerish thing I can say about this game. So in this game, basically, long story short, you end up the buttons is shred, and you just walk along, just like wailing, like space opera kind of. Have you seen it? I don't know if you've seen it.
No, but instantly when you just said that, I was like,
yeah, no, and do you know what? It's actually it's really well done. There was one bit, and I don't know if it bugged out, where like there was a bit of acoustic music that kept looping. But do you know when a loop's been? You played looper pedals much? Like this is a bit unfair on the game, because the audience for the game is not people who play music. Do you know what I mean? But I couldn't help but notice that it sounded like that loop had been played badly, because I could hear the loop restarting instead of sounding like someone was just playing. You know what I mean? And the other thing I noticed is that because it's a 2D game where you're running left to right or right to left, so if you're running left, the guitar's always front and center. Because you want to see shredding as he walks.
That would only bother you, I think.
Because when then you turn the other way round, he's suddenly left-handed shredding.
Yeah, and that would only bother you, I think.
I think it would, but I get it, because they want the guitar at the front of the game. But I bet you, because obviously the people involved are musicians, I guarantee you it will have bothered them, but they will have had to make a decision between this is going to upset Adam Cook and maybe 6 other people in the entire world, or we have the guitar, because it would, if you're walking with a guitar that way, it's like that, and then if I turn and walk that way, it's behind me now because I can't play left-handed. But like literally, it just suddenly like he's like that, and then the sprite's just like that. When you turn around, like it, and again, really, straight away, it was like, why does my brain work like this? Do you know what I mean?
Biggest disappointment of the year.
Why is my brain wired to notice shit like that is so inconsequential, but I couldn't see past it? It's a really weird game. Like, I know a lot of people have said it's not like particularly mechanically like gamey, and I actually thought I thought it was more of a game than I was expecting, because of all the people that had reviewed it and stuff. I was expecting it to be literally like a Telltale thing where you walking around pressing buttons. It's actually more than that. The other thing I want to start, I keep being told this now, and now enough people have told me that I feel like actually I think I'm going to have to, is a game called The Forgotten City. And this keeps popping up.
It's been popping up.
And like Lyle on the site was mentioning to me that there's like 5 moments in it that he would put as in best moment.
Wow.
Now,
okay.
all right, Lyle and
that's big talk.
Yeah, I mean, the things we like, there is a crossover. Like, we both into our JRPGs, but he's probably not going to play. Oh, I don't know. There is a fair crossover, but I don't know if he'd be playing FIFA and COD, whereas I would. Whereas I wouldn't be playing some of the more niche stuff that he would play. But to say there's 5 moments to me is now like I'm like, okay. He says it's not long and it's on Game Pass, so I think I'm going to have to. I'm gonna have to find some room for that.
Add another one to the list.
Yeah, well, yeah. What I have been playing is Mario Party Superstars, which I won't dwell on for too long, because like it's one of those where it's a bit like it's Mario Party.
How do you explain it? Really, it's like you play it and you're supposed to have fun. I don't know. Like,
do you not like the Mario Party games?
It's literally like every game ever. You play it, you're supposed to have fun.
No, I think I know I sound like such a dickhead there. No, I think it's like one of those things that like I just had such a problem with the last Mario Party game, and I think it's just it's. I look, the reviews are good for this one, whatever, but like
this is better than the last one.
Oh, I'm sure it definitely is, because that last one, like, people, no, I was actually gonna, like, no, it's that slow as shit.
I did like the last one, but this is much better. Like, for some silly little things, like, for example, now to get a star, it's gone back to 20 coins. So instead of being able to literally get a coin easily, you could get a star for 10 coins, which meant that anyone could do it. It kind of now it kind of makes them a little bit more, I don't know, more important perhaps. Like, you know, you actually, you know, I found that in the previous game, no one would ever have to miss a star by going past it because they didn't have enough coins, because they always got 10. This is, you know, I've seen complaints about there not being enough boards, and that's an odd one to me because there's one more board than there was in the last game. So there's more boards than the last game, but that's...
But I said it the last time, Adam Cook. It's a video game. There has to be complaints.
Well, that's right. But it's got online. It's got online now, and you can save your game. So if we started a 30-turn Mario Party, we could save our game. You know, I mean, I know it sounds really silly, but like when we were doing the Mario Mondays, we could have done that. We could have done an hour of that Mario Party Superstars, and then continued it a week after. And I know that's... And I put it in the review, and I mean it. Like, I know that that's something that should have been there a long time ago. But it's where we are, and it is there now. It's got some of the best mini games. It suffers ever so slightly because some of those boards that are like from Mario Party 1, that was a very basic game. So like the first board, the Yoshi board, is fine. It's the easy board in the game, but it's I wouldn't play that board. But then there's 4 others, whereas in the other game, last one, if you had one board you didn't like, there's 3 others, and I know that's only just one, but it's still it's got one of my favourite mini games of all time in it, so that's, you know, that's fun. They've redone it all. I scored it high because I like Mario Party. There's nothing in here that you're going to go like, oh well, I've hated the previous 10 and now I love it. It's not going to happen. This is looking backwards to go forward. This is them recognising the complaints people have had about the more recent games and going back to the drawing board, literally by bringing back the original boards. Like, this is classic Mario Party with the modern graphics. So in that respect, I really do enjoy it. I hope people pick it up so I can play online with them, because it does work, and it's... I know that's not exactly like, oh my god, it actually works, but it does. That might not seem like a lot, but like having that online there from day one means that this game, unlike Super Mario Party, isn't dead on arrival. Because it means, you know, people can and will play it straight away. I've also been playing Deep Rock Galactic. I went to a really, really, actually, I don't mean this to sound like an elitist almost, but it was a really small preview event for the upcoming change, well, the current, I guess now, changes to Deep Rock. I think there was 10 people in the whole thing, and half of them were 4 of them were definitely developers. I think a 5th was the PR who organised it. Like, it was very, very few people at this. Now, I don't know if that's because people haven't played it, but it did kind of make me think again, this game's getting no support from people. Like, how are there only 5 media people? One of them's me at this thing. You know? This game is so good. But they've added, like, Battle Pass stuff to it, all free. They've added new weapons, all brilliant. Like, the weapons are superb. They've added new enemies. There's a new boss fight. There's a little secret football mini game. They've like genuinely, this is a massive. I don't think it is like 2.0, but it could be a 2.0 update. You know, it's that big of an update, and it just made me realise I love this game, and I don't know why more people. It's so polished. Like, I know it was in early access for ages, but it is such a polished video game. Like, the shooting is incredibly responsive. Everything about this game has things that people should love. Like, if you like the mining, it's got mining in it. If you like first-person shooters, it's a first-person shooter. If you like XP and leveling up stuff, it's got that in abundance. Like, it is such a good video game that is, like... I don't get... I mean, I know they have a lot of players. Because, like, you know, you can see the stats and stuff. There's definitely a lot of players, but it never seems to be discussed like it's something special, and I genuinely feel like it is something special.
Yeah.
So good. So good.
It's just weird to me that it's one of those that, you know... It's in Game Pass as well, by the way. So if you haven't played it, it's also cross-play. Unfortunately, I don't know if it is now, but it didn't used to be Steam and Xbox. It was Xbox and Windows Store for PC. But, like, you know, if you're watching this, let's have a session on this game.
Oh, yeah.
It does look decent.
You know, it is such a fun game, and it's in Game Pass. And
you just can't be the engineer, because I'll be the engineer.
Like, in all seriousness, ads, right? This experimental build, okay, it basically wipes your slate clean. It's a completely different build. None of the stuff you've leveled up with matters. It's like you can go to the cheat terminal and enable everything, so you can, like, level everything up. This man here... still played as the same character he always plays as. Like, he didn't take a moment to go, oh, do you know what? I know I've spent a lot of time leveling up. I'm going to try. No, straight to the engineer again. I mean, I'm
I wanted to get a feel, right? I wanted to get a feel for it because I haven't played it for so long, which is my fault because it is a fantastic game.
Fault, yeah.
And I thought, well, I want to get my foot in with, you know, what I know. And then maybe I'll have branched out. But, I mean, going back to it, I will say, it does remind you just like how much fun we had, you know, when we used to play it a fair lot, a lot. I was going to go with it a lot. A fair amount or a lot.
What are you going to say now?
That's what I would say. And yeah, it was such good fun. And like I say, the new guns, they're just so cool. And like I said, there's so much extra content and stuff. It's there's so much in that game. Like if you could spend a long time leveling up and doing the various missions, unlocking all the stuff. Like there's so much in that game, and then there's 4 different, like, say, character classes as well. Just it's insane how much is in that game, and like I say, how well polished it is, and how good a team game it is. You know, we've spoken before about how well designed it is. Like, even though it's randomly generated, the characters are so well done that most characters can get around all situations because they've all got like a traversal method and all that sort of stuff. But it is better if there's more of you because you can work together. So it did remind me when we played it. I was like, oh, this is such good fun, and more people should be playing it. More people should be raving about it, and more people should be excited for this update because it is big, it is significant. The only thing for me, and I think you mentioned it in your video that everyone should go and watch on YouTube, is around the progression points feel a little
stingy,
a little slow. To, you know, normally in these kind of battle pass things, you get level, like you go up to level 2 or into level 1 straight away, and you go, oh yes, this is going to be really quick. I'm going to race through these levels, and then you just don't. But even in this one, it's like playing 2 or 3 rounds, even if you're successful, it's like still not at that first level. Okay. But you know, it is one of those games you play over and over. So, and if you're starting, I guess, if you're starting it for the first time and starting everything from scratch, having that leveling up in the background at the same time as all the other stuff is unlocking is decent, I suppose. Probably less so if you've played it for hundreds of hours and have capped everything, and then you've just got these progression points starting. But certainly if you're starting it right now, it's less of an issue. But yeah, very, very good. And some of those new weapons are insane.
It was interesting because I won't say in specifics, but part of the preview session, they were showing us the new boss before we had a chance to play it, and they went back to desktop, and you could see their Steam hour count, one of them for the game. It's like, you know what? It's quite funny because, you know, it just made you realise that they obviously do play their own game a lot. I mean, they have to because they test it. They're not a massive studio, but it was just nice.
Yeah,
it was one of those moments.
Yeah, I'd be worrying if it was like Rock Galactic, 0.4 hours.
Yeah, but it definitely wasn't.
Crap, this is worrying.
I'm not going to go into because it wasn't supposed to be visible. Well, I don't think they cared, but it's a terrific game, and I really, really implore people, if you've got Game Pass, to download. It's like 2 gig. It's not even a heavy download. It's
not.
2 point something gig, I think, and because just give it a try. Let's get into some listener correspondence, because there's nothing else we can talk about this week without breaking embargoes. So McPoo says, Adam, you can start with this one, mate. Which of the GTA remasters are you most looking forward to playing? I mean, he's assuming that you are looking forward to playing, isn't he?
If
there's any live questions in the chat, now's your time to write them in. So go on, Ad.
I'm excited for it. I'm very curious to know, the price of it is just one of those things where I'm like, okay, it is the price. It does have a visual overhaul. How it feels playing wise is going to be like the real kind of like, okay, it's worth the price, I suppose.
Yeah.
There's just a lot we've yet to see. But to answer the question, personally, if they are putting these quality of life improvements in, I think it's going to be Vice City.
Yeah.
I'm really I'm excited to play all of them, but Vice City is just it's fucking so good. It's just so good. I love everything about it. I'm really excited to definitely play 3 as well, though. I've played San Andreas.
It's been long enough for me that all 3 of them are kind of just one big blob now, and I can't actually. I don't know if that's just me. I'm really struggling now to be like, I just remember them. I just remember loving them like everyone else loves them.
Yeah. One of the big things I find, just going on about it for a second, but I love that you can restart the mission straight away again. That was honestly torture in those games, and actually made going back to those games in this day and age not unplayable, but just you kind of think I'm going to start GTA 3 or Vice City or San Andreas again, and you put it on and you die or whatever in a mission. It's right back there. You're putting me brutal. Go through the whole thing. So the fact that's being sorted is a great thing, but it's going to be a weird one. I don't know.
Weird timing as well. Weird time for it. But I'm with you. I think probably GTA 3 possibly, because it's just the one I can remember the least. Chris, you haven't played, and I
haven't played any of them, as we know.
What?
No,
I didn't, but I sort of also did, if you know what I mean.
Look, it's
what?
It was the wrong console at the wrong time, I guess. But
and you're not going to play it now, are you? Either. That's the thing.
So hang on. So I obviously am not as enamored with wanting to play them because I haven't got the same nostalgia as you guys have. But then I also know how much people wax lyrical about Vice City and everything else. So I kind of feel like I need to play them. I can't really sit here and go, I haven't got time to play them when I just sunk 40 flipping hours into New World. So I can't really play that card. So, it's difficult for me to answer the question, what am I most looking forward to? But I kind of feel like the good thing is it does give me an in to play them in like you say, with a quality of life improvements to actually go after them, But I mean, you must have seen it coming.
We still don't, no idea. We still don't know all of the details about them, and that I find that so peculiar. It is not I know companies are like, oh, no spoilers, or we're gonna do this marketing lead up, but these are not new video games.
Yeah, to show it though, for God's sake, they are going to show it obviously before, but at the same
bits.
Time,
they have shown in the most recent trailer. It does look significantly better visually, but it's kind of the visuals aren't the thing.
One of the weirdest things is they're kind of saying that they're taking the controls of 5.
Well, you would hope that they were modernized in some manner, if that makes sense.
I'm in my head going, but what are we saying? The movement?
Well, you don't really want it to feel ultra realistic the way 5 does when it doesn't look like that.
But
I don't think anyway.
They are floaty enough games, when you're sprinting, it looks hilarious.
Yes.
I'm wondering, is it going to have that kind of classic Rockstar weight at the game? Not to that extreme, I suppose. Red Dead 2 is a different ballgame altogether.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm excited, but it is Jesus, Chris. What a time to
time to be alive.
Jesus, yeah.
Papa's Punk.
I can't believe you never played San Andreas.
Think about it. It makes sense. He's probably never played a Grand Theft Auto at this point, have you?
No, but San Andreas came out I remember vividly when that came out. It was
hang on. Have you not played a single Grand Theft Auto game ever?
No. I played a bit of 5.
A bit.
Yeah. I'm being honest.
No, I mean, I respect that more than anything. But...
You're not gonna lie about it. I
No.
appreciate that.
Well, we catch him out very quickly.
Was there an issue with 5?
No, not really.
You are leading him down the garden path like a dog
yes,
on a lead.
I mean, I haven't
nice
played Red Dead, so
we
could just shit on them.
Either of them?
No.
What? Hang on, sorry again. I actually missed that.
By all means, list some other series that you think I should have played.
Did you not play Red Dead?
Neither of them.
I have a sealed copy of Red Dead Redemption 2 on my shelf up there that I haven't played.
I actually think that's probably nearly just as shocking, because
you genuinely are like.
I'm like, I totally get it. Now, everyone has to play all the games that everyone talks about, or that's popular. I get it. But I find it so, like, knowing what Red Dead provides in storytelling and characters and stuff, it's just so funny that you're there. It's right there. And I'm like, it's just mind-blowing. Because I remember when I got Red Dead 2,
gotta cut down some trees in New World.
I know. Yeah, I've got to go and pick some herbs. So,
exactly.
I mean... While we're doing this, should we mention BioShock or not? I don't know. It just seems...
So, yeah, I've played a bit of BioShock 1 and then stopped.
Like, how do you stop playing? How do you stop playing BioShock?
I don't know. I can't actually remember why I stopped playing BioShock. But
presumably that would have been before you had children.
Yeah, I guess.
Way before.
Like, please.
He's gonna peck now.
Please
do you want to list some more? Because you're just going to get him properly wound up.
I'm trying to think of some other big series that you might not. I mean, Mass Effect we know. We can't do that.
Hang on a second. I need to know this.
Right.
I know that this is probably going to be, but I would love to just dream and think that, like, you don't know the story of BioShock.
The twist.
No, I don't know the ending. No, I don't know.
Fair play.
No.
Fair play.
Well, I think I don't. Like I said, I don't really pay much attention to it. So I also try and keep away from that sort of stuff, just in case I ever do play it.
I actually think, Chris, that is something that has to be sorted ASAP.
Which one?
Your experience of BioShock 1 needs to be heard. It needs to... Because, like, I've gone back to that game numerous times, and it is genuinely one of the greatest ever. Like, get off that fucking New World. Get off it. I'm not listening to it anymore. I was sitting here listening to you talk about New World. I was like, look, at least he's having a nice time. 40 hours.
Now
that's all that matters here. No.
Right, sorry. So, yeah, Papa's Punk, your question was, which we never actually got to, what has been your worst case of mistaken identity? I mean, Chris is just going to say, well, I was mistaken as a games journalist.
I don't think I've never been mistaken for any sort of credibility on games journalism.
Nah, to be fair, mate, when you speak, you are one of these people that you know where if you speak. I was always taught that. Like, don't just start talking a load of shite if you don't know what you're talking about, and you're not that guy. You're honest, and that's important. But who have you been mistaken as? I mean, worst case?
So, people say I look like that guy from Man vs. Food, and to be really clear, people have said
Richmond.
Yeah, but they're people, and can I just say, when people said that, they were really clear before he lost the weight.
Sound.
Like, they were like, just to be really clear, not now, because he looks all right now.
Yeah.
Like,
no, he's slim
when
now.
he was massive, you look a bit like him. I was like, all right.
Nice.
Someone once said, this was when I was more at school and, like, more bullied than I am on this podcast. Someone said I look like the love child of Rick Waller and Uncle Fester from the Addams Family.
Fucking hell.
So there's that. I'm trying to think if there's any more. Oh, no, actually, the other one. Robbie Coltrane from, like, Cracker and that. And Hagrid. With the beard at the moment, probably not bad. If I was wearing a long wig, you'd probably go, yeah, it's Hagrid. So there you go. Robbie Coltrane is the other one I've been told as well.
So you've gone for like people can, like, you've been mistaken as someone. You've never had it the other way around. Have you ever had a worst case? Like I was gonna avoid my story by saying, yeah, I remember once in the supermarket I went up to someone and went, "Hi, Mum," and hugged her, and it wasn't my mum, but she looked like her from behind.
I've not really had that. Like, I was up a few weeks ago. My brother got married,
Well, I was going to ask you whether you ever been, mistaken for someone else in that respect.
No. So I'm a twin. I don't look nothing like my brother, and so no, never. Okay. But I was at my brother's wedding, and one of his ushers looks a lot like him. He looks more like the twin of my brother, my twin brother, than I do.
So you're saying you were adopted?
Well, I look more like my family than he does.
Okay, so
he's the Milkmans. But the point is,
Thanks for not saying postman.
Everyone everyone's finding out at this wedding. Oh, my brother's got a twin. And he's the best. Keep thinking it was this usher guy that looks exactly like him. But then there was one
other guy involved with the wedding.
Why? Who's this guy that's got the microphone that's doing the best man speech
when his brother's over there?
Yeah, but there was one moment in the run up to the actual ceremony where it's like best man and ushers we're trying to sort stuff out at the last minute, and I did call over to my brother, who I thought was my brother. And it was actually this guy. So the guy that I have known for 38 years.
Oh my God,
my twin. I got him mistaken for this guy that looks a bit like him. So yeah. That's quite.
I wouldn't have admitted that. I don't think on a public podcast like this, but
it was from behind. If that makes it any better, because I don't think you'd have a mistaken identity from the front, would you? You said like you hugging someone, presumably they were facing away from you.
Yeah, she was getting some cheese off the
Yeah. So yeah, it was from behind, and I called out to my twin brother, and it wasn't.
Adam Carroll, have you ever had a bad case of mistaken identity?
There was just one case where I went to a festival in Budapest. I was probably a little bit heavier. I had longer hair, and some fucking dude ran up to me at the festival and was fully thinking. So much so that he asked for a photo and everything. Kept calling all his friends, thinking that I was Jack Black.
I don't.
And
see
I was
it.
just like,
it's
I'm
funny,
not,
but
I'm
I don't
not.
see
and
it.
He was
I don't see it.
He was so ecstatic, and I was just like, "What the fuck? I'm not."
I mean, he was at a festival. He was almost certainly on LSD.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then the other thing is, I just get told that I look like Jack Whitehall at times. So that's
Jack Whitehall or Jack White? Whitehall.
Jack Whitehall,
the comedian.
Not Jack White. Yeah.
I'll have to look him up.
And that's...
for me, it's the same thing. Festival, and a woman tried to have sex with me because she thought I looked like Kurt Cobain.
Come here.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago.
Drugs. Oh, well, mate, we were all under the influence of something. But she was absolutely convinced, and to this day, I'm like, I was a lot thinner, younger, obviously, but she was convinced. And I don't know if it was just a case of that she just really wanted to have sex with someone, and that seemed like a flatter. Because I was a big Nirvana fan, but I don't know if that was the flattery was. I mean, it was not current even then. This was 1998. This was. He was long gone then, probably. I can't remember time, but yeah, convinced. Got me into a tent before I realised what was happening, and I was like, I wasn't married or anything back then, it was just, but I was terrified and drunk, so I was like, I'm not having any of this, because what if you start pulling the shotgun out and want to start doing some sort of role play? I'm not into it. I'm not Kurt Cobain. That was the year the Prodigy and the Beastie Boys had the argument. Remember that? No, because you're not as old as me. But that is a podcast for this week. Thank you very much. If you're one of our very, very few that would have seen 2 podcasts in 1 week because of this, but we'll be back to regularly bringing you the early pod. Hopefully, hopefully continuing. There's a lot of big games to talk about next week. I'm really looking forward to talking about some of them. But other than that, you can go to patreon.com/GodIsAGeek, where you can, get codes, you can get early access. We've got a new feature starting soon, featuring myself and Chris. That I think the first 4 episodes, 3 episodes have gone live. Already, I think, to Patreons, so they're well ahead there. It's worth having a look at if you like it. It's not expensive, and you get to see me bully Chris a little bit more.
In different ways than what you normally see.
Different ways than you would normally see, and I think I've now pushed it as far as it can go. There's not much more we can do with Chris. He's just sat there in the corner now. He just, it's standard stuff with his poop sock, playing New World, wishing it had controller support. But thank you, Adam and Chris, for being here. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And to everybody else, we'll speak to you next week or whenever you choose to listen. Bye-bye for now.